Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Stupid as being.
Huh? It's a house!
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working. Have you lost the last 3 brain cells, or do you just have cabbage for brains?
Huh? It's a house!
Hello, freaks. How the hell's it going out there? Hey, thanks, Timothy Cecil. Yeah, I hope so too. Been really discouraging lately.
I sure hope we have a better night tonight. Please help support the channel, thanks.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I know the case is already over and everything, but I got to put out the animation for the movements, just to have it out there as a record, you know. I actually did order, I did a FOIA request for all of the footage. Let's see if they send it. Who knows? I want every single bit of surveillance they used in the case. And then you just put it all together. What animation? I never made one. But anyway, this is what I've been working on. This one right here. Figured out some cooler ways to do stuff. Like, you know, right there. Boom. Barris and Holly building. And there it is. Manning Street. Then at 56 Cook surveillance. The red. Then it goes around the corner. Right here. And then boom. 253 George Street. And then when it's over here, it kind of disappears. It just, you know, there's like 2 minutes of missing time. Like there's a lot of stuff where we don't have any time frame. We don't know what he was doing. So I'm currently working on, I had a whole nother animation segment. So basically it just kind of disappears right there. And then it starts up again in the same spot. That's the next camera shot that they have. So I could probably just reverse out of this and bring these over there. So I'm just trying to make it so it's easy to understand. Yeah, I don't know about the... You know, we didn't know what the guy was. Everybody keeps calling him homeless. He lived in the science building there. So I don't know if that makes somebody homeless. They must have accepted that he was going to live there. You know, it's not like, oh, he just sort of was sneaking every night, had a tent built up and they just, you know. He might not have had like an apartment somewhere. I mean, you know, if he lives in the science building, he's not one of the people that lives on the street. But thanks, Timothy Cecil. Alright, so it drives by there. Yeah, so I can probably just put the same thing right there. So as it goes back, but then that would turn on about right there. Actually, that George Street thing can probably be on the whole time. Well, I'll just start it up again after it goes blank. George Street. And then right there is where the camera, like, bang, there it is. And that time will be different though. So I can go in here and change it to, so that's what we got to go look at this one. So yeah, so that's right when he's turning around. What time is that? 2:07. And then 2:07 he came back. Yeah. So then go to the end of that. I'm just going to work on this one part here, and then maybe we'll do this. I think it was one of those ones from a cold case from, I think it was in Virginia Beach area, and I had their folder built, but there was nothing in the folder, and there's no folders on Google Earth, so I don't know if I ever did it, but I think it's a serial killer. And then it seems like in 2024 there was somebody brought up in association, so maybe we can look into that. I mean, look at right now. Why is there only 66 people here, you guys? I just don't get it. I don't get it. Don't tell me football games. It shouldn't matter at all. Yeah, it looks like he goes down this other street. Look, that one must be still Cook. All right, yeah. Cook Street. And yeah, that's a new one down there. I don't do conspiracy theories. You know, like yeah, the Wikipedia goes over all the crazy conspiracy theories in the Brown case. You know, the Brown University, and I feel proud that we didn't do any of those. But hey, guys, if you're out there, if you could please help support the channel, I'm having to ask again. I'd appreciate it. I don't know what to tell you. I did, you know, was doing pretty well the channel during the few days of the Brown University. Then as soon as that's over, everybody takes off like chickens with their head cut off. All right, so need your guys' help. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks, Saturn Dreaming of Mercury. Okay, and this street down here is Benevolent. Alright, so we'll go ahead and put that in there. Maybe get George Street. Change that to what the heck? Whoa. Goes down to Benevolent. There, change the name. There we go. Isn't it? How do I spell that? Oh yeah, Benevolent Street. Alright, there we go. So just as it comes down right there, boom, that's Benevolent Street. Oh, actually it needs to be before that. Right there. And then do I have that one already too? No. So this street is Governor Street. It's kind of cool, this stuff that I just figured. Hey, thanks, Saturn Dreaming of Mercury. So, I mean, so far it looks like if you just watch it, it comes down. Can you guys see that at all, or is it too small? And by the way, look how cool this is. I found a place where I can download Google Earth. See, look at that. That's in my 3D program. That whole area. You know, it takes a long time to get it ready to go, but look at that. Isn't that sweet? Like, that's Google Earth. You know how you can see Google Earth? It's right there. The whole thing is in there, and everything's exactly set up correctly. Like, that's what it looks like. It's a little hill that it's on, and everything's the right size, feet wise, and everything. It's pretty sweet. Oh boy, what happened? It was nice of Lazio to come out of his lair and take a break from the Frito-Lay to help identify the shooter. I don't know what you're talking about. What is that? I have no idea what you're saying. Hello, Chickbait. And thanks for gifting a membership. Appreciate it. Yesterday I did a show earlier and it was so poor. I mean, I just got rid of both the shows related to the what do you call it? Richard Allen's plea deal, not plea, his Richard Allen's appeal. It was just, such low views, and I think YouTube actually uses some of the viewership on a particular video or show, and then changes stuff. Wow! Hey, thanks, Chris O'Connell. Thank you. Yeah, so and then I was just so deflated that I just took the rest of the day off. The channel income yesterday was 1/3 of just a normal night because of that. You can never. It's just I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. Wish I could invent something. Okay, I'm gonna move that down a little bit. Thank you, Carol Silva. Very cool. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Benevolent, and then what did I say? Governor, right there. So I have another one that's already vertical. Oh yeah, that was one I just did. I can take Coke here, put that over there, and just as it turns, then we make that into so I can take this, move it over like that. Pretty sure that's the street, right? Might be right here. Or does it actually kind of go up at an angle? Oh yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it kind of has an angle there. There we go. Hey, thanks Chickbait and Chickbait again and Carol Silva and Saturn Dreaming of Mercury. Wow, you guys are... It's a decent start to the show. Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks. And then I got to change the name to Governor. Come on. There. Come on. Right there. Governor Street. Maybe I need to rotate it all the way around the other way so it's... Oh, jeez. For some reason the center point's way over there. Yeah, there we go. See, that's down there on Benevolent. Oh, Governor. It's just on the sidewalk, but that's Governor Street. What do you guys think? I mean, I think it's pretty easy to see it that way. So it went down. I gotta go look at the animation really quick. This thing that they put out. So it walks by there. And there. No, that's not the one. Oh, just before that. So it was there and then there. So on this one, that means it was standing right there. Then it was all the way over there again. So yeah, that's exactly what it did. It went around this corner, up like that, and then this direction. Then the next place it ends up is right here where he starts running. So, but it's back up on George Street again. It comes around that corner. So right there, that's George. We find the other George. Put that over there, and then that'll be it. I gotta render some more stuff. Oh, that was lucky. There, and then these two again. Right there. Bing. And that's 2. What time is that at? 2:04. This should be 2:07. Sorry guys. I'm trying to get this 2:07. How is this confusing to you, Elena? Alright, let's see. Right there, boom, and let's go to there maybe. Yeah, it's George Street, okay. Then it went all the way back around. Up Governor Street. And then George Street again. And then what time is that? Looks like 2:13. Is that what it says? Yep. So 2:13, heading back that direction. Alright. So I think that's pretty good so far, right? But let's just play it. I'll play it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a version where it's just that, and then a version where there's video of each shot sort of right at the right time. But let's see if I zoom in to about like that. Let's see. Let's go to the beginning. There it is, Barris and Holly building. It's on Manning Street. Turns right on the Cook Street. The red buildings are the ones where the surveillance cameras are. Walks down to that corner by that where that big tree is, and turns left onto George Street. And then you see it walk by on a camera at 253 George Street. And then it goes to the end of the street, probably, and then it just sort of, we don't know where it went. But then just 3 minutes later, so it probably didn't go very far, came back this direction at 207 at 253 George Street. Comes back, goes down Cook Street, south on Cook Street. And then sort of goes into, this is the place where that big tree is, never mind. And sort of stood there for a moment, looking around and so forth, and came this direction on Benevolent, then north on Governor Street, and then west on George Street again, right there. And then again, the 253 George Street camera picks him up. And then right where it ends, right there, that's where he starts, I mean, just after this, he runs. So there's a camera. I guess I need to, what I don't have in there is the other, the camera on the building. Alright guys, if you're out there, if you could help support the channel, that'd be great. We hit one of those lulls. It was starting off pretty good. It felt like there was good momentum, and it just died straight away. Alright, let's see. So we got this one, that one, that one. Okay, this one. Oh yeah, I don't have, that's not on there at all yet. Well, where's the one with the, there's that one. I need that one. Because that was at 2:08:16. So that would have been, let's see. $2:04. Oh yeah. And then it was right there. You go. There you go. So this one I need to put in here. So this is one of these things that I didn't realize that Adobe Premiere did. So I was kind of like, wow, okay. Yeah, you can actually draw right on here. I just never used this before. Let's see. I think that shed is probably right here, but we'll just kind of use the whole building. Like that. Come on. Jesus, brutal. I'm gonna start this part over again. I don't think it has to be perfect on that one. Thanks, Saturn dreaming of Mercury. I'll just do it like that, I guess. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. And then make that a little bit transparent. I think I have them at 43. There you go. So that would be where that is. Yeah, right there. Boom. And then, let's see. Like this cook, this one right here. Dang it. All right, that was 208 something, right? Two oh eight, yeah. And it's also 110 benevolent. That's right. Because the front of it's on Benevolent Street, even though the whole side of it's on Cook. 208. Hey, thanks again, Chris O'Connell and Saturn Dreaming of Mercury. Alright, right here, one. Dude, Jesus, man, it's so hard to just get that the first time. 110 Benevolent Street. And that's also 208. All right, there we go. Let's try it again. I think I got them all on there, I think. Because that one, for some reason, doesn't film anything. All right, here we go. So, what do you guys think so far? I think it'll be pretty cool. Yeah, the guy in the... He probably was just didn't want to live. He was probably just ready to go, you know. That's why he did what he did. Took some people out with him. There, then it comes back this way in a moment. Back here, 207 on George Street, and south on Cook Street, and past 110 Benevolent Street, the camera on the shed. Alright, and then it's also, yeah, it's weird. Let me see. So it's the same camera twice. So I guess if I went like this, yeah, because he's filmed up here first, like that. Comes by, then I think it would turn off, because I mean, it didn't turn off, but I mean, there's no more footage of it on that camera. There you go. Then I just grab the same stuff, go to here, down at the bottom, right when it gets to the corner. Yeah. It's right to the bottom. So it did it twice. One there, one there. Okay. There's two different cameras on that same building. I mean, I wonder if I should make it where, you know, it's sort of interesting because there's a camera on the front and two back there. So I guess if I was going to try to make this as accurate as possible, I would probably, let's see. Yeah, just like get rid of that. And then the first time it goes by, get rid of that. 'Cause I think it's just the shed on that first one. I think that's the shed, right? I guess we can make sure where the shed is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's just it right there. There's the shed, and then there's a camera back here. That's right, it's so long like that. Yeah, there you go. It's got just the shed. Boom, right there. Then he goes down, and then it would be like that other part of the building. Right here, if you put this one. Oh yeah, these have to be 47% opacity, just like the other one. Click. What is Cook? Oh, yeah, I don't need Cook on there again. Cook Street. And let's see, that's got to be 47. All right, there we go. I'll just save that for now. How's it going? I wish this kind of stuff was more interesting to people, but it just isn't. All right, let's start over again, see if we see anything crazy. I was just kind of showing you where I was at. And I thought I'd just do a little segment there, but it turned it more complicated than I thought. Manning Street. That camera picks him up at 56 Cook Street. South on Cook Street. And east on George Street. Goes by the yeah, that could probably be a little earlier. That's 253 George Street camera. And it goes to the corner, and then we don't know where it went for 2 or 3 minutes. And then it comes back this direction to get on George Street. 253 George Street camera again. And it goes south on Cook Street by the Benevolent 110 Benevolent shed camera. Okay, that one seemed like it was too dark. So the graphic, where is that? 257. There we go. And then it goes east on Benevolent Street. And we know he goes around the block because he doesn't go by the other cameras apparently, and then he shows back up on the one on George Street. 253 George Street. And it makes his way to the corner of George and Cook. And that's where he encounters the John, I guess his name is. Is that his real name, or is that just what they call him? Alright guys, we're currently at 40% of a goal, so if you guys have the ability to help support the channel. Didn't do a show yesterday. Day before that was pretty poor. So let's see if we can try to get the month ending good. I mean, this is, it's difficult like this. I don't know how to generate income without the support from people watching, because there's no, the number of people viewing isn't enough to make ad revenue on the live streams, and that's it. It's you guys. There isn't other options or anything like that. I wish there was. Well, thanks again, Chris O'Connell. We got to see if we can do some like a challenge of some sort. Get some of these other people to help support the channel. See if we can get moving here. Thank you. All right, so we got the. This is where I'm at now. I still got more to go, but at the end, there's actually a place that I didn't realize they mentioned on that map is right there. Like, we don't know when he went there. I guess it's possible, since there is apparently quite a few minutes between. Let's see, when does he go back there? Let me go back to my. Yes, that's 213, and then down here is 208. So I wouldn't be surprised at all. I just don't have surveillance to verify it, so I'm not going to put it in there. But I would think that he probably, on this time, at 208, when he went over here, he may have gone down over here like this, and then around, and then up, and there just wasn't any footage or anything. Came around like this, and then there. Instead of just straight down and then up, because there's like, there's 5 minutes of missing time. I mean, or maybe, because if he went here at some point, when did he do that? So maybe he went like this and then maybe back straight up again. That might kill that time. There, down, and then back up. Don't know. It's just, but they have this one little space here, and at the end when he's leaving, they have this one. So I think when he was leaving, he went like this and then either turned here and went like that, or he went right to Ive Street, turned right, and then he was right there. They didn't release that footage either. Thank you, Chris O'Connell. Well, I guess that's where I'm at on that, so. Are you guys interested in looking at that, I think it's Virginia Beach, or I think it might even be that one, shit, what was the name of that? A freeway where cars were found of victims. Colonial Parkway. I think these might be some of those victims. All right, well, there you go. That's where I'm at. Hope you guys watch the video when it comes out. I mean, what I'm going to do is have a video like this, and then I'll have other videos where I put in like this right when on the video you see him moving. I'll fill in the spaces and put that version out there. So it'll be like 2 different versions in the same video. Alright guys, but it's going to be me reading shit again, so you know how that goes. Yeah. That's right, and yeah. Thanks for the effort there. All right, so this is Anna Maria Phelps and Daniel Loureiro, and they're sort of associated with serial killer, perhaps, you know. And looking through it, their names still are on this unsolved cases, but in 2024 there was an individual's name brought up, so we'll see how all that's connected later. And this is Anna Maria Phelps. And there are pictures of I think it might have been her boyfriend. So we'll just go back in time. You know, I found these articles here. Some of them get pretty long when they start adding other people, but I guess we can try to do it. Authorities appeal for leads in disappearance of a couple. So at this point, on October 5th, 1989, they went missing on September 4th, so this is like a month later. They're still looking for him. Baffled authorities a month since Daniel Loureiro. Let me grab this really quick. And I don't even have. I had a folder with their names in it, but there was nothing in it. And I also didn't have anything on Google Earth, so I don't know. I think I might have started building something. I have this huge folder filled with Virginia Beach killings. And you notice how Chris O'Connell made that comment, and there hasn't been another comment for 2 or 3 minutes. And then some jackass in the comment section said, "Gray, it's your fault. It's your fault because when people would try to comment, you would..." Yeah, that's bullshit, you guys. That's absolute bullshit. You know, just comment, do whatever the hell you want to do. You know, I hope sometimes it's related to what we're talking about. That's what I've said 1,000 times, but people just don't listen, so... Hello? Anyone there? Why do you guys keep putting me in a position to, like, have to say, is anybody there? You know, it's just sucks. I don't know what to tell you. I'm so close to just, man, taking a long, get the hell out of here. It's crazy. Every night. Let's see. So here we go. Right, you're reading. Yeah. Baffled authorities a month since Daniel Loureiro and Anna Marie Phelps left Amelia for Virginia Beach. So I guess Amelia, Virginia. Yeah, right there. So a little tiny, wow, just a really small, I mean, I guess they just lived in this county even. I don't even know if that's a town of Amelia or what the hell that is. Let's see. Amelia for Virginia Beach are appealing. So, baffled authorities a month since Daniel Lauer and Anna Maria Phelps left Amelia for Virginia Beach are appealing for the information about the pair who last was seen going the wrong way at a rest stop here. Going the wrong way, huh? Hey, thanks, Michelle H. We've followed up on everything. Trooper Joan Olinger told a press conference Wednesday at the rest area along westbound Interstate 64. So is that in Virginia Beach? Let's see. And then they said, gotta turn on, I guess roads are on. Hmm. 64, they said. Interstate, I-64. There it is. I mean, that's way over there. I-64 in Virginia Beach. Yeah, I don't know where that is. Wait, is that it right there? There it is. There's I-64. I'll just put a pin on I-64 just so I know where it is. Olinger, who is heading the investigation into the disappearance on Phelps, 18, of Virginia Beach, and Lauer, 21. Lauer was moving to Virginia Beach and was going to move in with his brother, Clinton, 17, and Phelps. Phelps' mother, Jewel, said her daughter and the younger Lauer had planned to marry on September 25th. The families of the missing man and woman are offering a $7,000 reward for their safe return. Anna Maria Phelps was not one to be out of touch, her mother said. My phone bills were $80 to $90 a month. Talking to her, Anna Maria Phelps and Daniel Lauer were last seen at 1 p.m. September 5th at the westbound rest stop. So where are they saying this is? So New Kent, Virginia, is that, so they weren't heading in the direction they should have been heading, not that they were going the wrong way. Like, backwards on a road. Wow. Isn't that random? I mean, New Kent is almost exactly where I randomly put that pin a minute ago. What are the odds of that? I always get lucky like that. Don't know why. Because they did say it's here at the rest area along the westbound Interstate 64. Beach are appealing for information about the pair who was last seen going the wrong way at a rest stop here. So let's see where the rest stops are. Nearest rest stop on I-64. Oh, there's one right there. Ah, interesting. I guarantee you that's the one. Because that Kent was right there. And there's no other rest stop. And there's two. And it's the westbound one, so right here. There we go. That's the rest stop. Westbound I-64. Hey, thank you, Cheryl Bullock. Is that what you're really doing at home in your chair? Spinning around? Yeah! This is awesome. Westbound I-64 rest area. That's got to be it. So that's where they were. Yeah, I mean, that is going backwards. It's like your Amelia's are over here area. And then Virginia Beach is down here. So yeah, that doesn't make any sense. See that? Part 1, figured it out. Alright, so that was that first article. Then they were last seen at 1 p.m. Okay, I'll put that on there too. Not there. It was right there at the rest stop. (1 p.m. 09, 05, 1989. All right, guys, let's see if we can try to reach a goal tonight. So if you're out there and you can help support the channel, that would be awesome. I'm sorry my channel doesn't do conspiracy theories. I'd probably be doing a lot better and wouldn't have to ask all the time. But I don't do it. And therefore, I get punished by YouTube and the number of people watching. It's good stuff. All right, this is pretty much the same. Yeah, it looks almost identical. Okay, here's another one. Then this is October 20th. So this is 15 days after those first articles. Thanks, Michelle H. 2 bodies were found by hunters in heavily wooded area less than a mile from an Interstate 64 rest stop. Wow. So they were at that rest stop, and then something happened to them at that rest stop because they were found near the very same place. 2 bodies were found by hunters in a heavily wooded area less than a mile from an Interstate 64 rest stop where 2 young Amelia County residents disappeared Labor Day weekend, police said. State police said the bodies were so decomposed that it was impossible. I mean, it was 6 weeks. Were so decomposed, or more than that even, almost 2 months. I mean, 7, let's see. So the 4th all the way to the 20th, so that would be like 45 days. They were so decomposed that it was impossible to determine immediately whether they were those of Anna Maria Phelps, 18, and Daniel Lauer, 21. Visual identification is totally out of the question, and fingerprinting is totally out of the question. So we have to go with dental and other methods of identification. So if it's going to take some time, said Tom Stanley, special agent in charge of the Bureau of Criminal Investigation for the state's 1st Division, if we draw a conclusion that it may be the Amelia residents were asking for trouble. Let's see. There have been about 6 unsolved killings and disappearances in the area of eastern Virginia over the past few years, including 4 deaths on the Colonial Parkway. See, that's the thing. Those are those murders that they were trying to connect those to. We're comparing these bodies with known missing people. Hunters found the bodies about 8 a.m., but because of the remoteness of the site, police did not receive the call until after 9 a.m., Stanley said. The site was off a logging road on Chesapeake Corps land, 1/10 of a mile north of the New Kent Providence Forge exit. Well, let's see where the hell that is. So I wonder if is that what this is? The very next exit. Well, it doesn't say that on there, but actually, if we just type in New Kent Providence Forge. Yeah, so that's over here. And would somebody then have to have... Is that right there? Like going back the other direction? What the hell? Man, it's going to be hard to make it tonight, you guys, if we're just sitting around struggling. I mean, I'm just going to be reading, and this is when we die. Every time I read, it just happens every time. Don't know why. It's what we used to do every single night. So that's Providence Forge. Maybe it's this exit right here. Yeah, I don't know. It's too hard to determine. I know we've got the rest stop here, and then if you took this exit and went this way, it seems like that would get you right to, down here and then over here. This one, if you took this exit, you could get off on 155 and then it takes you right to that Providence Forge area. But they were found on the their car was on the westbound side, but maybe somebody picked them up there, drove them over here, and then turned around, came back, and then took this exit right there. I already did, Rory. What are the updates? You mean the idiotic, the plea deal? I mean, not the plea, the appeal? That part? What's new about it? It's just garbage. It's the same shit we already heard. I did 2 shows. I read on it. Nobody watched, so I quit playing it. You get it? But hey, guys, if you're out there, if you could please help support the channel. We're not even at 50% still of the goal, so if you have the ability to help support the channel, that would be awesome. Yeah, so what are you talking about, Rory? Yeah, we went over the appeal up till like page 90, and nobody was watching, and it was really discouraging, and I just quit doing it. It's boring. There's nothing in it. It's the same old thing over and over again. That's because I deleted both of them, the shows. They did so poorly, as I said at the beginning, that I deleted them. Hey, thanks, Chris O'Connell. Yeah, we got to try to. Somebody's got to do a challenge in here. Let's see if we can do a challenge. Maybe it'll get us moving. Got to give it a shot somewhere. A 5 to 5 challenge would get us to 70%. Let's see. Thank you, Chris O'Connell again, who's done pretty much 70% of what we've done in here. Right, yeah, remember that, Timothy? It was like, forget it. Right, I just can't do it. Sitting there reading and reading and reading and reading and reading. That's what I feel like sometimes on these, but I think it's so interesting, but people don't treat the show as if it's interesting when I'm reading. So it's like, can I really do these anymore? Or yeah, and then Lisa did a coffee too. Yeah, I think we brought in $45 on that show. That just doesn't, it's just not doable. You know, multiply 45 times 30. Tell me what you come up with. That's like a quarter of what we donate a month. I mean, if you went 45 times 30. So hunters found the bodies about 8 a.m., but because of the remoteness of the site was off a logging road on Chesapeake Core. I wonder if that's still, is it still there? Chesapeake. Yeah, so it's still Chesapeake Corporation, but I mean, who knows? 1/10 of a mile north of the New Kent Providence Forge exit from I-64 at State. Oh, well, that might help. I think that actually might have been what I was looking at. Yeah, it's right there. Right here. This is it. I should have read the next sentence, for God's sakes. I don't know, you're pretty good at them, Chris O'Connell, when you do them. People seem to match yours. It's when I do mine, nobody matches. But see right here, it says, it is what I just said. So we went back the other direction. So if you go up here, less than a mile from Interstate 64 rest stop. Okay, let's go back to the first article, or the second, yeah, the first one really quick again. Now these are them, by the way. That's Anna Marie Phelps, and that is Daniel Loureiro, I guess. Let me go to that first one. That's not it. Are appealing. We followed up. Okay, right here it says press conference Wednesday at the rest area. Okay, left Amelia for Virginia Beach. Are appealing for information. Pair was last seen going the wrong way at a rest stop here. Was moving to Virginia. Phelps' mother, Anna Marie Phelps, was not one to be out of touch. Last seen at 1 p.m. September 5th at the westbound rest stop. Okay, so that's what I was looking at. See, that's kind of weird, you know. So that's already sort of a strangeness, because west is this way, right? So somehow they were up this road over here. So that's a little strange. Let's go back to that one again. Exit. So let's see. Forge exit from I-64 at State Road. Oh wait, I guess it could be on the other side, but you wouldn't. The Kent exit is this direction because that town's over here. I mean, it's the same. I mean, I guess if you're westbound, you wouldn't be able to go that way, anyways. So it has to be coming back this direction. What the heck? Hey, it's Marty's Bar and Grill. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Look at all those new members right there. Wow, thank you. Appreciate it. So, yeah, there's no way they could have gone to this exit if they're already at this one and it's westbound. They'd have to be back on this side of the freeway. So that means it's possible they went up here and then went this direction. But it said at State Route 155, the rest stop is near the 1/10 of a mile north of the New Kent Providence. Oh, so it is on the other side. Jesus. 1/10 of a mile north of the New Kent Providence Forge exit, and it's on route, so it's over here. That's crazy. But how did they get back behind him? Or was there, you know what? The car was placed here by the killer. That's exactly what happened. The killer put the car there, in my opinion. And because that doesn't even make any sense. If you're here, how would you make it back there and then north? You know what I'm saying? Hey, we got a challenge in here? Oh wait, Lisa Valenzuela has a challenge? You still want to do it? Lisa Valenzuela has a challenge, everybody. Although maybe that was the challenge right there, right? Like Marty got it because it was after. Hey, thanks, Lisa. What do you guys think? What I'm just saying right here. The car was in this rest stop. However, their bodies were found north of this exit, and this is one way, right? So it feels like the killer is the one who put the car there. Although people said they saw him at that rest stop, right? Remember that? That was in there. Man, that's some weird shit. Yeah, because they did say they saw him here, so maybe the killer asked for a ride or something. Said they'd give him some money and went around like this, and then put a gun on him and force him up here. But then how did the car end up being back at the? Well, I guess we don't know where the car was found yet, right? Is that right? Yeah, let me look at this one again. We're at the rest stop September 5th at 10:45 a.m. We're seen talking separately. Oh, there we go. All right, this is another one. The state police, this is the same date as the first one on the 5th. State police and the parents of Anna Maria Phelps and Daniel Lauer, Amelia County residents missing since September 4th, say they have few leads in the disappearance and are struggling to find people who may have seen the two at an Interstate 64 rest area near here. They disappeared right after Labor Day riots in Virginia Beach. It doesn't make sense. More people haven't reported seeing something along the interstate, said William Phelps, whose missing 18-year-old daughter, Anna Maria, had planned to be married this past Saturday. Phelps, his wife, Jewel, and the parents and brother of Lauer, and thanks, Lisa Valenzuela, for the coffee. Phelps, his wife, Jewel, and the parents and brother of Lauer, 21, met with reporters and state police agents yesterday at the westbound I-64 rest stop near Providence Forge, where the pair was last seen by witnesses, including a rest stop custodian. We're just trying to get the word out that we need any help we can get. Things are pretty much at a standstill, said Roger Rector of the State Police Bureau of Criminal Investigations. Rector said state police believe the two were at the rest stop September 5th at about 10:45 a.m. Lauer and Miss Phelps were seen talking separately to an unidentified... All right, what page is this? Let's see. I'm trying to go to page 434. Unidentified male and female. So it was a male or male and a female. So it was 10:45, right? Let me put that on there. And now it says 1 p.m. But I'm going to change that. That sounds more accurate. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say. I guess we'll have to see what comes out later. Yeah. Well, no, thank you guys, Marty and Chris O'Connell, and just everybody who supports the channel, really. But you guys seem to been really making things happen lately, so I appreciate that. I mean, just the sheer volume, so I appreciate it. So about 2 hours later, 2 hours later, they were seen talking to one another near a stand of trees at the same rest stop. Their car, a rusted gold 1973 Chevrolet Nova two-color sedan, was parked along the acceleration lane of the truck parking area. Wow. Investigators had no problem operating. Okay, so they found their car there. And the acceleration lane of the truck area. Wouldn't that be right here? So, wow. That's crazy. So that means they're... See, I love these old articles. They're so detailed. I'm glad I went back to look at this one. This one's like way better. 1973 Chevrolet Nova. Two-door. That doesn't really matter. Chevrolet Nova. I guess I'll put it. So it had to be right there. That's the acceleration lane, right? You come around and then start speeding up. And, it could even be right there, actually. Because I don't think you would call it that. It'd be right after you passed anybody else that might be able to merge. So probably like right there. Ish. Something like that. Chevrolet Nova two-door sedan was parked along the acceleration lane at the truck parking area. Investigators had no problem operating the car later. Miss Phelps and Lauer left Amelia about 11:15 p.m. September 4th, Labor Day, and were taking clothing to Lauer's brother, Clinton, who is Miss Lauer's fiance, but the two never made it to Clinton. Lauer's apartment in Virginia Beach, Clinton said yesterday. To Clinton Lauer's apartment. So there's a guy named Clinton Lauer. William Phelps said yesterday, here, let's see something. This is 1989, so it's not too long ago. Clinton, that's kind of an unusual name. Lauer. Clinton's not very common, and Lauer's not very common. So the two together, probably not too many of them. And that was 1989, so let's see. His brother, let's just guess. Let's see, so 1989, 11 plus 25, 36 plus 20. I mean, this guy's probably like 50, Well, 71, 89. I guess he could be 1971. But 66 years old also sounds pretty good. What do you think? Let's see. Yeah, how about 54? 54 would make him 18 at the time. Yeah, I don't see one in there. Too bad. How about we try Daniel Lauer? And he would be 21. So 21 plus, so it'd be like 57 or so. I'm just trying to find him over here. Is anybody going to be talking at all or chatting? You know, Jessica typed in interesting about 10 minutes ago. Now, let me try this one. 57. Could be him. It's just wild though, man. You guys doesn't have all the bells and whistles, man. There's no chatting at all. It's just yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like these guys are in there. I mean, there's another one here, Texas. Could try that. One more, then I'll give it up. Florida, Missouri. This person was all over the place. And doesn't look like that's the right one. And they're still alive, so that automatically takes them out of there. Yeah, you're reading a news article about what? But anyways, you guys, we're still not at the goal, so it'd be nice to get there. We need another, probably, I don't know, at least 10 channel memberships or something. To try to get to the minimum goal level, we need 15 or 17 more to get to where I donate 5 memberships. That's how far away we're at. So Miss Phelps and Lauer left Amelia at 11:15. William Phelps said yesterday that $7,000 reward. The Lauer family drove the car to the press conference yesterday. Anyway, so I think this is... They're still looking for him at this time. So that means that's where they found the vehicle. And then we moved forward to the 20th. And we were right there. And I think we made it to the next page. Might have been the next one. Page 2, column 3. Of course. Where is it? I'm going to move to the next article if I don't see it here. Okay, forget. And October 21st, the day after that. So it said, one of the bodies which were discovered by hunters Thursday on a logging road in a heavily wooded area less than a mile from the... I guess that's why I needed that last one. It mentioned a particular distance, but I think that was right at the bottom. The site was off a logging road on Chesapeake Corp land, 1/10 of a mile north of the New Kent Providence Forge exit on the 155 side. The stop is near the... And okay, so that would be... What'd they say, 1/10 of a mile? Yeah, so very... Like, whoever it was, just... probably a trucker, it almost seems like. Because that's what truckers do. The ones that... The killers, anyways. So 1/10 of a mile. So... Let's get the miles in here. Go there. Yeah, that's already too much. There's a little logging road right there. 0.11. That's got to be it. I mean, look how crazy it is, you guys. I mean, right there's a logging road. I mean, right at the 1/10 of a mile mark. What are the odds of that? Still there after all this time. And then there's actually a little bit of a... I saw a street view on there. Look at that. I guess it doesn't go in there, but... Right there. So whoever the killer was came over, quickly turned, and put their bodies in the woods over here. So I'll just put bodies found. And they said about... How far is it from that? Is it a mile? Just like they said. Let's see. Yep, that's 1.23 miles to... there, so that's exactly what the stop that they were talking about. So right now I feel good about having the entire thing here completely accurate in terms of precisely everything. Like the acceleration lane here, the car was found, the westbound rest area, 155 off of 64, 1/10 of a mile on a logging road right there. Okay, and somebody was hunting at the time, but if we go back on Google Earth to 90, usually there's a pretty good map around 90 in the 90s, and there it is. Now it's kicked in. So that's what it looked like before. There was nothing there at all. That's 1994. See how that's just woods, and then slowly over time, even there. I mean, that's a better one. 2005, hell, even 2012. And then things are starting to be built. But that's what it looked like at the time. Absolutely nothing there. Basically a hunting area. But hey guys, any chance you guys can help support the channel? Try to get us to the goal tonight. Other people. That'd be great. Thank you. Right, so let's get rid of this one and then move it to the next page, next day. One body is identified. They hadn't really identified, they just thought that they were them. The other body is believed to be Daniel, so they identified Anna Maria Phelps first. I hope to God they found some evidence at the scene, because that person or persons who did this needs to be punished, said the father of Miss Phelps. Because the bodies were so badly decomposed, results from the autopsy report to determine the cause and approximate time of death take longer than usual, Stanley said. The bodies were found clothed and beside one another under a blanket. Wow. So they were found clothed beside one another under a blanket. Miss Phelps and Loureiro left Amelia late September 4th to return. Maybe I should put that in there. Side by side, clothed under a blanket. A hunter stumbled upon them. Lauer's car was found with the keys in the ignition and with its gasoline tank 3/4 full at the rest area near the New Kent Providence. That means somebody probably put a gun on him and forced him out of the car. I believe they stopped to help someone and were abducted right off the bat, said Phelps. It seems like that's the most logical thing that could have happened since there wasn't any sign of a struggle. Both of them were the kind of kids that would always help people in distress, Phelps said. He didn't go to the scene Thursday, but shortly after the young people were reported missing, family members walked up the logging road located off of State Route 155, searching for clues as to what may have happened. Wow, they didn't see anybody though, huh? The police were searching the immediate area around the rest area, and some of my children went up that logging road, but not far enough. Let's see. Police haven't told Phelps if they have any leads about what happened to his daughter and Lauer, he said, but he has been calling them, offering every bit of information he can think of. All right, there's that one. Then we move to a week later. Anybody hear what I said, you guys? Let's try to reach the goal tonight. That would be great. We're really struggling. Identification of New Kent body confirmed. So the other body was Daniel Lauer. There must have been almost skeletons at the time. The body of Anne Marie Phelps, who had been traveling with Lauer, was identified October 20th, the day after the two bodies were found by hunters. A medical examiner made the identification of Daniel Lauer. All right, then, I don't know, almost like 2 weeks later, Smithsonian helps investigate deaths. State police and the state medical examiner, frustrated at not being able to determine how Anna Maria Phelps and Daniel Lauer died, have turned to an unconventional source for help. And later they tried a psychic. I didn't keep that article. Skeletal remains of the two Amelia County young people were turned over because they weren't able to determine how they died. Carefully examined for minute evidence of bullet wounds, stab marks, or even strangulation. There's usually some trauma to the skeleton, but not always. Robert Mann, one of the physical anthropologists, explained Monday. Lisa Valenzuela going for a $2 holler. Let's see, page 6. That's crazy. Picture there. Let's see, the badly decomposed bodies of Lauer, 21, and Phelps, 18, were discovered by bow hunters on October 19th in a heavily wooded area of New Kent County, about 2 miles from the Interstate 64 rest area where Lauer's car had been found abandoned on September 5th. The two bodies were identified from dental records, but the medical examiner has thus far been unable to explain how the pair died. Okay, the rest of it's just sort of like how a place might do it. figure it out, I guess. Let's see. Deaths of 2 stump experts links probed. It's been weeks since the bodies of 2 young people were found in New Kent County, less than 3 miles from the I-64 rest stop. Now it's further than, so maybe, you know, I guess it's possible it's that other logging road right here, you know. Because now they're saying 3 miles. I hate how there's always like a change, you know. They never really always have the, I mean, I guess that's a logging road there, too. So, could be either one. But the other one was 1/10 of a mile from the exit. So, I think that one makes more sense. It matched perfectly. Although it is kind of close to the highway. Boy, that $2 hauler really had a lot of... it was like an avalanche. The parents of 18-year-old Anna Maria Phelps of Virginia Beach and Daniel Lauer, 21 of Vanilla, can take some comfort in the fact the bodies of the 2 were recently turned over to funeral homes. Comfort. Recent reports have turned up which reveal there have been people who have been pretending to be police officers on the interstate with encounters going back at least 4 years, according to the Virginia pilot. That's interesting. Let's see. However, authorities and medical experts, including a Smithsonian Institute anthropologist, remain unable to determine the cause of death. So I guess they're thinking maybe there was this somebody dressing up as a police officer. You know, who knows? That was November 27th, November 30th. I think a lot of the people watching right now are trolls, so that's what they like to do, just waiting and waiting and waiting. So the only way to combat it is to reach the goals despite the trolls. Hey, that sounds pretty good. Reach the goals despite the trolls. There it goes, man. It rhymes. Hey, thanks, Joe Martin. Timothy Cecil, Lisa Valenzuela. Autopsies show pair were slain. So now the autopsy report comes in. State police hope autopsy reports completed this week on a young man and woman whose bodies were found near an Interstate 64 rest stop will help them determine who killed the couple. Authorities were forwarded the results of the autopsies on Wednesday. The remains of Anna Maria Phelps, 18, showed she was stabbed or cut, said Dr. Marcella Fierro, a medical examiner who performed the autopsies. Daniel Lauer, 21, was also slain, but it's still not clear how, she said. Tom Stanley, special agent in charge of the State Bureau of Criminal Investigation in Richmond, said the cause of Lauer's death is only identified as an undetermined violent homicide. All right, so they at least know that they were killed. They weren't just taking a nap and died, you know. Isn't that Johnny Depp right there? I mean, it kind of looks like him. That's crazy. I mean, what is this, 1990? It's probably on 21 Jump Street or something. Let's see. So this is July 24th, 1990. And I think this one, let's see. All right, this one. So now it's serial killer shot. 6 unsolved murders and 2 disappearances on or near the peninsula are almost certainly related, and someone with intimate knowledge about them may be ready to lead authorities to the killer or killers. Larry McCann, a behavioral science specialist, said psychological profiles of the crime scene indicate this second person may be in danger from the killer or killers, but he would not say whether the person is an accomplice or confidant of the killer. Hey, thank you, Lanky Tour. I think I'll be talking to Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick tomorrow. See what our updates are on our cases. What we're looking at here is a puzzle, said McCann. Think of a puzzle with a lot of little pieces. Let's see. He thinks that there's a second person involved. That second person is looking for some way to get out. They're trying to tell him, hey. Yeah, I don't know. It almost sounds like that FBI guy that was talking to the Houck brothers, you know. Police long have speculated about whether the murders are the work of a serial killer or killers, and in recent weeks have been more willing to voice that concern. McCann said Monday it would be almost impossible for 4 crimes with as many similarities as these share to occur in the same geographic region in a 3-year period. All right, you guys, I can say this. Here's what my challenge is. If we get 10 channel memberships or super any combination, it's just membership's $5. So if we get 10 of those, then I'll donate 5 channel memberships as well. So we'll have 15 more. That'd be pretty sweet. All right. That's my challenge. Some numbers were crunched a while back, and it's highly unlikely this is 4 different guys, he said. Wells and others have said circumstances that seem to link the crimes include the fact that all involve couples in secluded areas near water, and all the victims apparently were led to their deaths as if under someone's control. That has led to speculation that the crimes may have been committed by a police officer or someone impersonating one. Interesting, right? Because people actually said that. Anybody interested in my challenge? Every once in a while, I would like people to do mine. You know, let's see. That's page. We need to go to page 5. That's 4, so it should be on the next one. There it is. Yeah, look at all these. Rebecca Dowski, Kathleen Thomas, Robin Edwards. I think these 2 are together. David Knobling, Richard Keith, Sandra Haley, Daniel Lauer, and Anna Maria Phelps. It could be a building process, then a release of stress when he kills, he said. Wells said the FBI and state police have found no solid evidence linking the cases, but the National Center for the Analysis of Violent Crimes has concluded there could be a connection. The FBI and state police began separate investigations, but now share office space in Hampton. The cases date back to October 1986, when Kathleen M. Thomas, 27, and Rebecca A. Dowski, 21, were found strangled with their throats cut in the hatchback of Thomas's car. The car was pushed off the side of the Colonial Parkway adjacent to the New York River near Yorktown. Dowski was a senior at the College of William and Mary Thomas, was a stockbroker in Virginia Beach. In September 1987, David Knobling, 20, and Robin M. Edwards, 14, were shot to death while at Ragged Island Wildlife Refuge at the foot of the James River Bridge in Isle of White County. Okay, do you guys hear what I said? If we get 10 more channel memberships, you guys, I'll donate 5 myself. Just as a whole group together. Like one from 1. See if we can do it. Yeah, somebody doesn't have to do 10. Just everybody combined. In September of 1987, David Knobling, 20, and Robin E., 14, were shot to death while at Ragged Island. In April 1988, Richard Keith Call, 20, and Sandra Haley, 19, classmates at Christopher Newport College, disappeared while on their first date and have not been found. They were last seen at a party in Newport News, but Call's car was found in a pullover on the Colonial Parkway. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, it does have that feel to it, doesn't it? Hey, thanks, Timothy Cecil. That's part of the 11111. 9 more. On Labor Day weekend last year, 21-year-old Daniel Lauer and his brother, 18-year-old... Wait. On Labor Day weekend last year, 21-year-old Daniel Lauer and his brother, 18-year-old girl... His brother's... Oh. That's kind of weird. I thought it was his girlfriend. So he was just sort of taking her there. On Labor Day weekend last year, 21-year-old Daniel Lauer and his brother's 18-year-old girlfriend, Anna Maria Phelps, disappeared while en route. I didn't pick up that point earlier. Disappeared while en route from their parents' homes in Amelia County to Virginia Beach, where the 3 young people shared an apartment. Lauer's car was found in an Interstate 64 rest area in New Kent County. His and Phelps' bodies were found in woods a few miles away 6 weeks later. Extensive tests on the badly decomposed bodies revealed that Phelps died of cutting wounds, but the cause of Lauer's death remained unknown. McCann said the fact that the victims died from different types of wounds does not rule out a serial killer or killers. Following the Labor Day killing, a serial killer who doesn't want to be connected to the other ones might use a different weapon. Nine more to go. After Monday's press conference, however, he said new psychological evidence has convinced him to add the New Kent case to the list. You just learn things, he said. You learn how the bad guys think. You have to walk in the bad guy's shoes. When you do that, in this case, this is what you get. The press conference was a strong beginning for the publicity campaign, drawing reporters from as far away as Washington, D.C. The crimes also will be featured in a 5-part series of television specials to be broadcast on Crimeline Chronicle. Let's see. Okay. So these are where, Colonial Parkway. I want to see what that map. Hold on. Yeah, so that's right where I have it. Yep, right there. It kind of looks like, on that map they have it sort of off a little distance there, but that's exactly the same spot that they have it. And then it goes over here, and then so it might be the second one here. And then let's see. Well, it would only be like 1.5 miles, but maybe if you continued out on these logging roads, it'd be even further. All right, guys, we need 9 more of those. Any chance we can do that? Yes or no? Should I do a poll? I'd sure like to gift the 5, because then at least we can say we got to a decent number. That's kind of like the way when my car had that camera on the top. Alright, so I guess that's it for that one. Seems like then after a while they're all kind of more related to the serial angle. Let's see. Police gear, that's not it. That's not it. Wetlands violated, that's not it either. Not see anything on. Is it this one? Access to police gear possesses threat, cops say. So there's something over here that said, oh yeah. So it is about that. Access to police gear poses threat. So it says, in a press conference last month, FBI and state police officials said the possibility of a police impersonator was one of the few angles they are pursuing in the multiple murders. FBI spokesperson Irvin B. Wells said evidence from the crime scene seems to show that control of victims was probably taken early on in the crime. He said that could have been done by someone posing as a police officer or simply pointing a gun in the victim's face. The first killings were in October of 1986. Yeah, it's weird too because it's right around that same, in the fall, is when Loureiro and Phelps were killed. The first killings were October 1986, when the bodies of Kathleen Thomas, 28, of Norfolk, and Rebecca Dowski, 21, a student at the College of William and Mary, were found on the Colonial Parkway near Williamsburg in the back seat of Miss Thomas's. So they were actually found in the car. Miss Thomas's car. They had been strangled and their throats cut. There were no signs of a struggle, nor had the women been raped or robbed. In September of 1987, the bodies of David Knobling, 20, and Robin Edwards, 14, both of Newport News, were found at the Ragged Island Game Refuge on the James River. Each had been shot in the back of the head. Again, there was no sign of a struggle or a robbery. In April of 1988, not far from the site of the first murders, Richard Call, 20, of Gloucester County, and Cassandra Haley, 19, a student at Christopher Newport College, disappeared. Call's car was discovered at an overlook along the parkway with its keys in the ignition. Miss Haley's purse and Call's wallet were in the car. A thorough search of the river and its banks failed to find any trace of the two. In September of 1989, Daniel Loureiro, that's who we're talking about, and of Amelia County, and Anna Maria Phelps, 19, of Virginia Beach, were reported missing. Their bodies were discovered in the woods in New Kent County about a month later. Both had been stabbed. FBI agents who specialize in serial killings were called in. Although police haven't abandoned the possibility the cases aren't related, they called the press conference July 25th, police said, because they were desperate for tips. All right, guys, how do we get moving on my goal, my challenge? All right, this is what I always say. My challenges rarely get any activity, but I'm trying to reach a decent number for tonight after missing a day, and then the day before that was terrible. So any chance we can possibly get other people to help get us to the challenge that I set forth. Huh? What is Koberger? What do you mean? Yeah. Oh, if he got into cops. Yeah. I don't know, man. What does Bill Thompson have to do with, or Iran's? This is something different. Tom Stanley of the State Police offers the following tips. Almost officers. What does it mean? Almost officers will be in. Almost all officers is what it meant to say. Will be in uniform. It is driver's right to ask the officer for identification. If you are suspicious, ask the officer to call for a backup unit and don't roll down your window. Impersonating a police officer is a Class 1 misdemeanor. Anyways, that's what that article is about. I'm wondering if people had access to police uniforms, maybe be what the Colonial Parkway murder. Since 1986, 3 pairs of people have been slain, and another pair has disappeared from a small area in eastern Virginia. In October, yeah, I think it just goes through the same ones that we just went through. Then we've got December of 1991. Hey, thanks, Shelly Pink. All right. 8 to go. It was a little more than 5 years ago that the so-called Parkway murderer first struck, leaving 2 young women dead in a car pushed over an embankment of the Colonial Parkway. Over the next 3 years, 3 more people were slain mysteriously, but in a fashion investigators believe connects them all. Since then, police have waited with bated breath for the serial killer to strike again. He hasn't. There are 3 reasons why he hasn't killed again, said Special Agent Bill Loureiro or something of the Virginia State Police. 1, he's dead. 2, he's moved out of the area. 3, he's in jail. Loureiro, a 27-year veteran of the state police, is assigned full-time to the investigation, along with Robert Meadows, special agent with the FBI, and state police special agent Larry Johnson. A day doesn't go by that the task force isn't following up a lead or acting on tips that flow from across the United States. Hello. Officials still unraveling. Let's just go down to this part. Anna Maria Phelps, 18, and Daniel Lauer, 21, of Amelia County, were on their way to Virginia Beach, Labor Day 1989, when they disappeared. Lauer's Pontiac was found abandoned at the Southwest Interstate 64 rest stop. 7 weeks later, deer hunters stumbled over the couple's decomposed bodies alongside a fire trail near the rest area. Miss Phelps had been stabbed, but Lauer's cause of death couldn't be determined. Well, one article said he was stabbed. Yeah, so they're just still comparing them all at that time. And then there's like a 1997, finally. So this one was sort of interesting. There was this... The novelist was sued for allegedly using private information. Let's see. The parents of a woman who was killed almost 8 years ago have filed a lawsuit against novelist Patricia Cornwell for writing a book that they contend is based on private facts of their daughter's death. William and Jewel Phelps are seeking unspecified damages stemming from the 1992 publication of Cornwell's All That Remains. The book disclaims any resemblance to real events or persons, but the Amelia County couple believe the work is patterned on the deaths of their daughter, Anna Maria, and her fiancé's brother, Daniel Loureiro. This is not fiction, said Jewel Phelps. She shouldn't be making money from someone else's misery. The suit, which also named, that's the whole thing is true crime, the genre with the TV shows and everything. You know, there is an income that people make. You know, it's not like it sucks, you know. But I think there's also like we provide, you know, getting information out. As long as you're not a conspiracy nutter, you know, I think it's something good, you know. But hey guys, we need 8 more channel memberships gifted, then I'll donate 5. That'd be awesome. Because there has been no criminal prosecution, let's see. Because there has been no criminal prosecution in the 2 deaths, the autopsy report is accessible only to police investigators and the victims' immediate families. It's a violation of the law and my client's privacy, he said. She must say how she obtained the information. The ball's now in her court to come up with a legitimate reason. Cornwell's publicist did not return telephone calls. Hunters discovered the bodies of Anna Maria Phelps, 18, and Loureiro, 21, in October of 1989 in woods about 2 miles from the Interstate 64 rest stop in New Kent County, where Loureiro's abandoned car had been found a month earlier. The 2 were planning to visit Loureiro's brother in Virginia Beach for the Labor Day weekend. The victims were among 8 young men and women who were killed or disappeared in the area between 86 and 89. The remains of Anna Maria Phelps were examined by a state medical examiner and at the Smithsonian Institution's Natural History Museum in Washington, where examiners concluded that she was stabbed to death. According to the lawsuit, the autopsy report gave details of the killing. It stated, listen to this. It stated that Phelps' eyeballs were missing and 2 front teeth were knocked out. Now, maybe your eyeballs aren't there because of decomposition. I don't know. Or an animal or something, but that's pretty wild. And knocked out and found next to her body. The 2 bodies were found positioned arm in arm, face down, so they were probably posed then. Their clothing intact, covered by an electric blanket which contained knife holes. Ah, Jesus. Holy crap, man. So that means they were covered in a blanket and then stabbed, probably punched and pummeled in the face and then stabbed through the blanket. I wonder why. That's probably why they think maybe 2 people. That's kind of hard to achieve with just one. Yeah, I just don't really care what Bill Thompson has to say. Pod Pictures, who cares? He doesn't know any more than anybody else about anything. He's just a guy that didn't even try to get the answers from a killer. That don't respect him. Those are among the details contained in Cornwell's book, said Crowley. She doesn't know but see, the problem is doing the lawsuit then probably confirmed that that's real information. You know what I mean? So I think this is another, huge comparison, Colonial Parkway murders, one. Now there's a whole bunch of different ones in Virginia that they're kind of connecting. Anna Maria Phelps, 18, and Daniel Loureiro, 21, left her. Yeah, we already know that. Remembers her surprise when police returned her sister's jewelry and the 1973 Chevy Nova the pair were traveling in. Yeah, I mean, didn't you want to keep it to see if there was some DNA in there? Said if he can't understand why investigators wouldn't hold on to a potential evidence until a killer is found. She said that late last summer, before she learned the state police crime scene photos had gone public, she started trying to get in touch with an investigator. Are they still out there? Those photos? Let's see. Any chance, you guys, we can get that goal? Looks like no's the answer. Yeah, I don't know who Bill Thomas is either. Don't really care. Let's see if we got him. Okay, I've seen this one. That one looks like the second one. See that right there? So that does look like the, if we go to here. Hey, there's Cinnamon Freak. That counts too. 7 more. I think it looks like this one. You know that? I think that looks a hell of a lot more like that. Doesn't that look similar? Even though it's a different lighting and everything. You know, it looks like that's exactly what we're looking at here. In that picture. Yeah, so it is that up in there. Huh, interesting. That's totally different than their 1/10 of a mile comment. Well, let's go to the other one just to double check. I mean, I don't remember if what that one looked like now that we already doesn't feel like it's the right one. Yeah, I don't know. Never heard of him. Alright, so there you go. That's not it. I don't think. Yeah, I mean, it's weird because the lighting on that. I mean, the road curves, but maybe the picture was taken over there. Up that way. I don't know. And let's see. This is from up in the area, right? Maybe. God, see that one. Let me go to the other one again. We might be able to figure this out. Did he say anything? So if you want, you can send me a link. Okay, I'm just trying to work through this the way I want to work through it right now, if that's okay. Yeah, that kind of looks better to me. See that right there? So this is the other direction, but look at that clump of trees, those 3 big trees. Or, you know, even, it could be 4, one's behind the other, but right there. So that here looks like that from up there. So I'm gonna have to switch this around. So I bet they were found up in here somewhere. Because remember they said they didn't walk far enough. So they're probably way up there. Alright, so that piece of information that was in that article wasn't correct. Although there is a trail right next to that one too, weirdly. Alright, we need 7 more, you guys. 7 more. Before I learned the state police crime scene photos had gone public. Special kind of evil photographs. It's like we've gone over some of these. There he is. So they found that. Henry Phillips locket as found on the logging trail. Was this a breadcrumb she had dropped? Was it cut off her during the struggle? Now look at that. That's exactly the one we have. Right there. So we got that right for sure. Showing the isolated logging trail. Yeah. So and that's it right there. That's exactly what I think that's it. Hold on, let me look. Let's go back to like 2000. Let's see, 2003 perhaps. Now they have it like this. Wait. That's pretty confusing. I'm looking at this picture and I was thinking that triangle would be the same thing, but I don't know if it is. No. That might even just be the logging trail itself. Maybe that portion. I don't know. That's a tough one. Yeah, I don't know. It's so hard whenever I say, hey guys, I mean, if we get that, I'll donate 5 memberships if we get 7 more. That's what we're trying to do. Daniel Chevy Nova, the vehicle should have been in the eastbound rest area, right, but was found in the westbound area where the killer had left it. Okay, well, geez, Marty. Well, thank you so much, Marty. I didn't want you to feel compelled. I want some, I was trying to get other people, but it seems like it's such a struggle. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, Marty and Chris, I mean, it's basically 3/4 of the entire amount, I'm sure. Thank you. And there you go. So we now have, what is that? 200, or not 44, or no, 48 memberships. Hey, Marty, thank you. Is this at the rest area right here? Let's take a look at that. And it's on the side of the road. Almost looks like that is where it was found. So let's see if we go. Hopefully they have this. Yes, they do. So is he up in there, or let's go up into this one. They said the trucking. Ah, shoot. Yeah, actually I think it's up right up in there and a little bit further back. See how they've got that little side gravel area in the road? I know this was a while ago, but this doesn't even have that. This does. So I think it was more where I originally had it, which is up here. And I think it's probably further up in there somewhere. And then on the side, because it looks like you can, let's go to a newer look. Yeah, that's right. And then it seems like you can kind of maybe see this. I don't know if there's another building right there. Unfortunately, they don't have street view. Let's see if we can see something through here. Yeah, see, I think that's the thing right there. Look. See that? That's probably this. And so if it is, that means the car should be like right over there, almost where I had that. So this is probably what we were looking at. So I almost have it in the right spot. I think it's probably about like right there. Okay? So that's pretty sweet. And you see that though? Doesn't that make sense? I think that's absolutely it. That's crazy. Look at that. You go right there, and then you see, yeah, right up at the top there, and see the angle, like where it's on the other side, because that road's on the other side, and that's looking back at it. So that means it's got to be like over here. Unfortunately, there's no street view over there. We'd just be able to nail the spot. I mean, but I think that right here is part of the. Let's see if we have a better one. Well, that's it right there. Yeah, so I think I need to move them back a little bit more. Probably right here, just like that. See? On that back spot there. And that is the acceleration lane. I didn't think that it would be back there, because if these cars were coming out, that would cause a problem, because they merge. But, you know, you can see them. There you go. There you go. What do you mean cemetery videos of Sebastian's case? What? What do you mean cemetery videos? What kind of shit are you guys watching? My God, you guys. Jesus. It's crazy. And look, there's inside the car. Keys in the ignition. Yep. Did they take a picture while the car was still sitting there? That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, it'd be right back up in there. And this is where their bodies were found, right? Roadway leading back in the woods. The killer drove Daniel and Anna Maria back here in the darkness, killing them and covering their bodies in an electrical blanket. Okay. Crazy. All right, that was interesting to get that. What do you mean cars driving in the cemetery? What does that have to do with anything? Are you guys still like like going, you know, that kind of crazy digging around? I mean, I'm sure there's other people making these videos. There's activity in the cemetery the night before. How do you know? How do you know there was activity in the cemetery? Why? Because there's some was there some surveillance footage? Yeah, I would probably be able to debunk the hell out of it. Yeah, that's what I would do. You know, what are you referring to? The lights that they could see in the background? Now, why don't you send me the surveillance footage? Is this new surveillance footage? And what was the new stuff that people are talking about in the Delphi case? Other than the same shit repeated in the Franks memorandum. It's the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. But, you know, I could see a judge, if they didn't pay attention, they'll use the prison situation to give them a new trial. It wouldn't shock me at all, to be honest with you. Okay, show me the surveillance footage, but not in somebody else's video. If you have surveillance footage from a news outlet or something like that, Julie, send it to my email. Do not send me some dipshit YouTuber who's peddling in conspiracy theories daily, because I won't even watch it. Yeah, cool. So send me a link with a news outlet that has this surveillance. I'd look at it. And by the way, what difference does it make? Hey, you guys, there's movement in a cemetery. Therefore, it has to be Sebastian, related to him, because, ooh, cemeteries. You know, what about the surveillance that was over there and somebody's moving around? It's crazy, man. What? What are you talking about, Timothy? His name was Christopher Kornberger. Who? Oh yeah, somebody made some weird connection. What was that thing? Oh yeah, the Charlie Kirk shooting. There's some weird video out there that there was a movie by Nicolas Cage that had like Charlie Kirk, some similar name, and there was an assassination, and that person got shot in the neck, and it was a political thing, and it was some other thing. It was pretty weird, all the different little elements. You know, makes you kind of wonder if the shooter watched that or, did something, but, sometimes there's just coincidences. Yeah, but who cares if it's near his house? You know what I mean? There's lots of stuff near his house. So all of a sudden, somebody just released cemetery surveillance footage that just so happens to be available for that night all those years ago. How did that happen? Oh, God. It's unreal. Yeah, we only got 85 viewers here right now. Man, we're just really humming along. It's amazing. When I was covering the Brown University, I don't know, 800, 1,000. 2 days later, when it's over, 85 people. Because nobody cares about all the other cases that are out there. Yeah, I'm just going to move forward through these. A lot of these are kind of similar. Like this is what this is all about right here. 30 years later, the Daily Press takes an 8-part look back at the killings that rattled our region. Maybe we should look at that at some point, because I think there was... Here, because I think it was in 8 days in a row or something. And I thought this was a repeat of the one before, so it's probably out of order. But I was looking at this one. Breakthrough made in 1980s homicides. Law enforcement officials, I wonder if this guy's a trucker, on Monday afternoon announced a major breakthrough in 3 cold case homicides that occurred in the late 1980s, including one double homicide that was part of a string of crimes that became known as the Colonial Parkway Murders. Virginia State Police identified Alan W. Wilmer, Sr. of Lancaster County. Okay, let's see.
He should still be in there. People are saying Erica Kirk is Jean-Benet Ramsey. Jeez. I am absolutely sure Candace Owens will pick up on that one. She's that stupid. Candace Owens went full anti-Jewish the other day. I mean, it was just unbelievable. She actually said that Jewish people are responsible for slavery in the United States. She's a lunatic, you guys. I mean, absolute lunatic. I mean, my God, that's almost. I don't know how people get away with shit like that. It doesn't seem like it should be legal for her to say shit like that. Because people believe it. But, we got freedom of speech, you know. We can just say whatever the hell we want. It's ridiculous. Although, you know, I guess we have to have it. So you can criticize somebody like her. But at the same time, my God. Jesus. Oh. And how old is this guy? Okay, Wilmer, who died in December of 2017 at 63. So you add 7, so he'd be 70 years old. Alan W. Wilmer. What's his middle name? Oh, I think this is him. I think I found him, 71 years old. If it says he's dead, then this is him right here. Here we go. Doesn't say that. Wait, was he a junior or senior? See, he was a senior too. I mean, so it's even in there. Alan W. Wilmer. But they said he died in 2017. This has to be him. Same everything. Lancaster. Yeah, of Lancaster. It's right here. It's P.O. Box stuff. 1997. Well, let's see where he lived in. Well, that's weird. His address was 1989, which is strange, just because he killed that couple that year. Yeah, so he lived right there at one point. That's pretty close, right there. That's probably a good getaway. You know, after killing, just go down the highway, take this exit, go right over the bridge there, and I guess you have to go over another bridge, and then you're home. That was, though, it says the date on that's a little bit later. There can't be another person with that same. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, Lancaster County. It's the right age and everything. Gotta be. And his birthday is such that he would be 71 right now. Has to be him. Let's see if there's any, I'll tell you if there's any, like a history of anything. All right, let's see. Sometimes they don't have anything, but we're looking right now, you guys. We're looking right now. Did you send it to me, Julie? Open uninspected vehicle. Or some operated an uninspected vehicle. That sounds like a truck driver, doesn't it? operated an uninspected vehicle. That's a truck driver, isn't it? That has to be. That's exactly what I was thinking this person was. Because he was in the speeding lane of the trucking, the acceleration lane of the trucking area. And not only that, just where they were found, right off of a trucking area. A lot of times, trucking serial killers, they drive around and they take these little exits, and then there's bodies dumped all along, like places like this. Even in, at 2 in the morning, you take this exit up here, you dump a body right there, and you get right back on the freeway and you're out of there. So that's how they do this. And this one would be, they came back the other direction and then probably came here and then drove up there. Although he does live in the area too, so I don't know which one is which. And then he also had a safety belt violation. Who died in December of 2017 at the age of 63. So 2025, 80B, right, and his birthday is in November, would make him 71. Is also a suspect in the 1989 murder of Teresa Howell, then 29, in Hampton. If not for the Wilmer's death, charges would be filed against him in connection with 3 homicides. Police said Nobling and Edwards were last seen alive and together on September 19, 1987. The next day, Nobling's pickup truck was discovered abandoned in the parking lot of the Ragged Island Wildlife Management. So the other case was wildlife. Ragged Island Wildlife Management and Reck. I think that's probably it. Go down here somewhere. Got to be related. All these people. The 3 homicides went unsolved for decades, but at a Monday news conference in Suffolk, authorities said they had used DNA evidence to determine that Wilmer was responsible for the crimes. Wow. The DNA was gathered from Wilmer posthumously last year, police said, and proved to be a genetic match with then unidentified DNA found on the bodies of Nobling, Edwards, and Howell. As a result, police were able to mark the cases as solved, but Geller stressed that resolving cases is not the same thing as closing them. We're going to revisit the facts, Geller said, and detectives will continue to investigate the murders and look into potential connections with other violent crimes. Geller declined to comment on how Wilner had been developed as a suspect and what prompted investigators to collect his DNA. Maybe it was FGG. Wilmer was 5 feet 5 inches tall and weighed 165 pounds, police said. Yeah, so he was a little guy. Wilmer. No, this is about him. He's 165 pounds, 5'5", like Richard Allen type. He had brown hair, blue eyes, and often sported... I guess these guys... But how could it be? He's only 5'5". How could one single solitary man that's 5'5", weighing 165 pounds, have killed all these people? There's no way he could have done it. How does... he put the blanket on him and... See what I'm saying? That's how stupid the Delphi crew is. These people who just keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. And this guy killed adults, like adult people. At the time of the murders, Wilmer drove a distinctive blue 1966 Dodge Fargo pickup truck. He also owned drove a distinctive blue 1966 Dodge Fargo pickup truck. He also owned a small commercial fishing boat named, so maybe he's not a truck driver, I don't know, Denny Wade, in which he sometimes lived and which he docked in the marinas around the northern neck. He was a fisherman and an avid hunter and ran a business called Better Tree Service, police said. In a statement released at the news conference, is this out there somewhere? Like we could check this out? Hold on. Wait, what the hell? Oh. Alan Wilmer press conference. Okay. That kind of looks like...
Good afternoon. My name is Corinne Geller. I'm the public... This investigation...
Due to the Hampton Police Division, Virginia State Police, and the FBI for your commitment to justice.
Do you guys want to watch this thing? I can fix the audio. Might take a minute, but... Let's see. All right. They do mention up here, in addition to the deaths of Nobbing Edwards, the infamous murders included the October 1986 murders of Kathleen Thomas. And then down here it brings up murders of Anna Maria Phelps, then 18. The bodies of Thomas and Dowski were found. So they probably want to see if they can connect all of these together. Authorities did not link the slaying of Nobbling and Edwards to the other Colonial Parkway murders, but Brian Dugan, special agent for the FBI office, but why does he have Nobbling and Edwards here? They connected in all three of these, so they're saying that these ones weren't connected to the others. I don't know. I'm not sure what they're saying there. All right, hold on a second. Hold on. I feel like its audio is completely out of one side. And watch how much better it'll sound. It'll sound really clear.
Good afternoon. My name is Corinne Geller. I'm the Public Relations Director for the Virginia State Police.
Or better, anyway.
Thank you to all who are joining us today and to those watching via the live stream. The press conference will consist of several speakers, and then following that we will open the floor to questions. So we do ask our media friends to please hold off for your questions until the end. On behalf of the City of Hampton Police Division, the City of Hampton Commonwealth's Attorney Anton Bell, Isle of Wight County Commonwealth's Attorney Georgette Phillips, the Virginia State Police Bureau of Criminal Investigations Chesapeake Field Office, the FBI Norfolk Field Office, and family members of the Edwards family, Nobbling family, and Howe family, we are here to announce that a suspect has been identified in two separate homicides that happened more than 35 years ago in the Hampton Roads region. Through forensic evidence analyzed and certified by the Virginia Department of Forensic Science, Alan Wade Wilmer Sr. has been declared the person responsible for the September 1987 double homicide in Isle of Wight County and a July 1989 homicide in the city of Hampton. Alan Williams Sr. died in December 2017 at the age of 63 at his residence in Lancaster County, Virginia, which is in the Northern Neck. As a result of the forensic findings, both the Isle of Wight County Commonwealth's Attorney and the City of Hampton Commonwealth's Attorney confirmed that if Alan Williams Sr. was alive today, he would be charged in all three of these homicides. Now, many in this region will recognize the Isle of Wight County double homicide as one that occurred during a series of double murders collectively known as the Colonial Parkway murders. Although the similarities in these series of double homicides that spanned a 3-year period cannot be ignored, at this time, there is no forensic nor physical evidence to link the Isle of Wight County homicides to those other double murders. The remaining double homicides, the two in York County that occurred on the Colonial Parkway and the one that occurred in New King County, are still active investigations, and our combined investigative efforts continue. In fact, we are still seeking the public's help through our continued efforts to seek justice for the victims of these and other unsolved crimes. Today's announcement also does not conclude our agency's investigative efforts to determine if Alan Williams...
They said Alan Wade, didn't they? Alan Wade a minute ago? Wilner? They did say Wade. I thought I heard that. I just was still listening. Had to go use the restroom. Did they say that? And if you're out there and you want to still help support the channel, that'd be great. Hello? Did it say Wade in there? Or are you guys even paying attention? Ah, Jesus Christ. You guys.
Through forensic evidence, analyzed and certified by the Virginia Department of Forensic Science, Alan Wade Wilner Sr. has been
Okay, Alan, that was pure luck to get that spot. Okay.
collectively known as the Colonial Parkway
So
murders.
that was the right person that I had.
Although the similarities in these series of double homicides that spanned a 3-year period cannot be ignored, at this time, there is no forensic nor physical
should have him
evidence to
dead
link
in here, then.
the Isle of Wight County homicides to those other double murders. The remaining double homicides, the two in York County that occurred on the Colonial Parkway and the one that occurred in New King County, are still active investigations, and our combined investigative efforts continue. In fact, we are still seeking the public's help through our continued efforts to seek justice for the victims of these and other unsolved crimes. Today's announcement also does not conclude our agency's investigative efforts to determine if Alan Williams Sr. was responsible for additional crimes, which we will explore later in this press conference. Because the Isle of Wight County and the City of Hampton cases are both more than 30 years old, for everyone's benefit, we're going to revisit the facts of these two homicides investigations. First, and going in chronological order, we'll address the Virginia State Police case. The evening of September 19th, 1987, was the last time 20-year-old David Lee Knobling and 14-year-old Robin Margaret Edwards were seen together alive. The next day, on September 20th, David's Ford Ranger pickup truck was discovered in the parking lot of the Ragged Island Wildlife Management and Refuge Area. On September 23rd, 1987, tragically, their bodies were found along the shoreline of Ragged Island, which is located near the south shore of the James River in Isle of Wight County. This investigation has been primarily investigated by the Virginia State Police Bureau of Criminal Investigations Chesapeake Field Office, with the cooperation of the FBI and, more recently, the City of Hampton Police Division. I would now like to call forward Hampton Police Captain Rebecca Warren, Deputy Commander of Investigation, to share details about their case.
Thank you. 29-year-old Teresa Spall Howell was last seen alive on July 1st, 1989, at approximately 2:30 a.m. in the city of Hampton, outside of the Zodiac Club. The Zodiac Club is no longer in existence today. but at the time was a popular night spot and was located at 209 East Mercury Boulevard. At approximately 10:10 a.m. that same day, construction crews arrived at 521 Butler Farm Road to complete work when they located female clothing near the site. A short time later, the remains of an unidentified female were discovered in the woodline not far from the clothing. On July 4th, 1989, a missing person report was filed in York County, leading to the identification of the victim as Teresa Spa Howell.
Yeah, I agree.
Teresa had been sexually assaulted
Marty.
and died as a result of strangulation. For the last 34 years, this case had been actively investigated by the Hampton Police Division with the assistance.
Yeah, so I'm just reading your Richard Allen stuff. I mean, Richard Allen is the killer in the case. His devoted following of nutjobs, they'll be so pleased if he gets off. But I bet none of them would be okay with him hanging out in their homes. None of them. All right, let's see. Back to this.
From Virginia State Police and the FBI. The following statement is issued on behalf of Teresa Spa Howell's family, known by her family as Terry. We would like to express our gratitude to all investigators involved in the investigation of Terry's death. Their dedication, relentless efforts, and evolving technology have brought us closure that we have sought over the last 34 years. While we are grateful for the closure that has been provided, nothing will bring Terry back. The void left by her absence over the years is inexpressible. We kindly request privacy as we navigate through a host of new emotions that this brings. We appreciate the support received from family, friends over the course of this time, and ask that you continue to keep our family in your thoughts and prayers. Once again, thank you to the Hampton Police Division, Virginia State Police, and the FBI for your commitment to justice.
The resolution of these two homicide cases was the direct result of interagency cooperation. It was through persistent investigative measures taken by our agencies that enabled the Virginia Department of Forensic Science in June of 2023 to positively link Alan Williams Sr. to David, Robin, and Teresa's deaths. It took the proactive interagency cooperation of sharing Alan Williams Sr.'s genetic profile that helped us achieve these long-awaited results. Alan Williams Sr. had no felonies on his criminal record, so his DNA had never been obtained until it was necessary for identification purposes following his death. The Virginia Department of Forensic Science issued a certificate of analysis.
There's a second. Let's see, right here. Let's read that part again. I think this is Wilmer drove a distinctive blue 1966 Dodge Fargo pickup truck. He also owned a small commercial fishing boat named the Denny Wade, in which sometimes lived and which he says he was a fisherman and avid hunter, ran a business called Better Tree Service, police said. I bet you that's his shit right here in this picture. Look, I mean, I don't know. It just kind of looks like these items might be related to that. What do you guys think? I mean, this is one of his photographs. This is from November. Well, when did he die? Well, it couldn't have been, but I don't know. It just looks like that would be his stuff. So this is too late for that. You know what we should do is look, like he died in 2017, right? So it'd be sort of interesting to take a look at, so that can't be him. Looks like that shit though. Let's see. If we zoom in here. It's right there. like right in here. All right, let's see. Right there. And then there's no historical on that one. Shoot. I could try it again on the side while that's playing.
Analysis confirming a genetic match to Alan Williams Sr. based on evidence collected from the Isle of Wight County and City of Hampton homicide victims. We recognize this announcement has been a long time coming, especially for the families of these victims. While we do hope this provides a sense of closure to them, we recognize there are still other families related to the Colonial Parkway homicide victims who are still hoping for answers. That's why we continue to push forward with our investigations. We're not ruling anything out when examining other cases and pursuing new ones. Our agencies are still working to reconstruct the movements and encounters of Alan Williams Sr., so that's why we're asking for the public's help. Alan Williams Sr., who went by the nickname Pokey, he was 5'5", muscular, and weighed approximately 165 pounds. He had sandy brown hair, blue eyes, and often sported a close-cropped beard. Alan Williams Sr. drove a distinctive blue 1966 Dodge Fargo pickup truck with the Virginia license plate EM Raw. And he typically had clamming equipment in the bed as well as a large metal toolbox. Now, this was just one of several pickup trucks and other vehicles that Wilmer was known to drive in the 1980s and early 1990s. Alan Williams Sr. also had a small commercial fishing boat. It was named the Denny Wade. It was a 1976 custom-built wooden boat. He often lived on it during this time and would dock at marinas in the counties of Gloucester and Middlesex, as well as around the Northern Neck and the Hampton Roads region. His trade during the 1980s was as a fisherman, mainly farming clams and oysters. He also ran his own business. It was a tree service called Better Tree Service. He was an avid hunter and belonged to at least one local hunt club in the Middle Peninsula region. I would now like to ask Special Agent in Charge Brian Dugan with the FBI Norfolk office to step forward.
Thank you, Corinne. On behalf of the FBI, I want to express my sincere condolences to the victims' families. While these tragedies occurred decades ago, I recognize how much pain followed them throughout those years without any answers. And there are still maybe more families out there hoping to close their chapters as well. That's why we're asking the public to take a good look at the suspect's photos. If you had any encounters with him or his vehicle or watercraft, hunted with him, farmed oysters or clams, docked next to him in marinas, spent time with him on a personal basis or at work, or even romantically to some point, we want to hear from you.
That might be him right
We're
there.
also interested in hearing from the public about areas where Wilmer had worked in, both as a fisherman and tree cutter, locations where he may have been known to hunt, or bars,
That's 2008.
clubs, or lounges he frequented. A piece of information, no matter how small, could be useful to investigators. To submit a report, we're encouraging the public to call the FBI's tip line, 1-800-CALL-FBI, or submit a tip online at tips.fbi.gov. Alternatively, you can also contact the state police via email at questions@vsp.virginia.gov. We recognize relationships and loyalties change over time, as do people and their perspectives. There are occasions where people who may have had knowledge of the incident did not feel comfortable coming forward with the information at the time. This may have been due to close relationships with persons involved, or out of concern of their own safety, reputation, or standing amongst friends. Even though Mr. Wilmer is deceased, we want you to know it is not too late to come forward. Again, the FBI tip line is listed here Again, 800-CALL-FBI or online tips.fbi.gov.
You know,
Or
Gumby
again,
and Pokey.
emailing Virginia
Gumby
State
and Pokey,
Police
you know.
questions at vsp.virginia.gov. You can also reach out to Hampton Police via the Peninsula Crime Line, where you can provide information anonymously. I also want to add that the FBI continues to have multiple open investigations that we're looking into to see if Mr. Wilmer is connected to, including victims Kathy Thomas.
I don't know. Sometimes they are, though, those judges. I remember there's a, the Jodi Arias case is one of those ones, like, there's no doubt that Jodi Arias did it or anything, but Juan Martinez was so unethical in the first case that they went to a, district judges, the judges, I can't remember, it was really high level. And she actually won, I think, originally, and then they went to, I don't know what they called en banc or some shit like that. And it was really close. It was like 4-3, some really conservative guy, and what it was it's not about, like, did she do it or not? It was that, the shit that Juan Martinez pulled in that trial was absurd. Just absolutely ludicrous, And so it wouldn't have changed. Like, she would have had another trial. A death penalty probably would have been completely off the table. She already didn't have the death penalty, so she got another trial. She would have been found guilty and got life in prison again. No doubt at all. But I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of. I don't like cheating. Like the same thing with Justin Ross Harris case. Just absolute garbage. That's the part I don't like. At trial, etc.
Suspects during time. And because of the collective efforts of our agencies, they're able to develop various suspects. The genetic material of Wilmer, once it was learned that he was deceased, we were able to legally obtain his genetic material and then be able to submit that to the Virginia Department of Forensic Science, which then was able to compare it to the evidence that had been collected in our cases in Rhode Island. And that's how we were able to get to where we are today.
Why were you not able to legally?
I don't think there's nothing that Judge Gold did that was, there's nothing you could, well, like what? Give me an example, Ashy Snow. Like, what's one of the decisions she made? You think she should have allowed them to do third-party suspects when there was no nexus to the crime scene? What did she do that wasn't right? The part about when she removed them from, and then they were added back, So they came back on. Yeah, she should have actually given them a hearing and then removed them. That's all she should have done. But she didn't do that.
Obtain the DNA from him while he was alive. Why did you have to wait until he was dead?
It was simply during the course of going back and revisiting these
when they
cases that
figured it
he
out.
was developed as a particular suspect and someone to evaluate at this time.
Can you tell us about the tip that came in that connected the dots to him?
No.
Why?
You can't say what specifically led you guys to develop him as a suspect.
It was just during the course of 30 years worth of investigations. And part of the cold case philosophy is to go back over and start re-looking and going back through all the witness statements, all the evidence. And it's a very time-consuming, very complex, but very effective way. And that's where we were able to dedicate these resources, revisit these cases, go back through and re-look at them. And then that's when it was discovered that Wilmer had passed away.
Does anybody even hear?
And decided let's follow through on that
so
and
wild.
see if there's genetic material
You guys
that we
comment
can.
and then it's just dead.
And he wasn't the only suspect that was submitted to the Department of Forensic Science. The Department of Forensic Science had actually identified a common suspect between the Hampton and the Isle of White County cases a couple of years ago, but because he was never in the system,
Why'd
he
you
was
just
never
do
in the
investigative
CODIS
genetic
database,
genealogy?
there was no hit. So we had a common suspect, he just had not been identified. So it was not until we were able to get that genetic material, then work it through the Department of Forensic Science, that was able to connect the dots and connect these two cases.
Can you say how early
Well, Ashley Snow comes in here. I asked her a question, and she doesn't reply.
was it fairly shortly after the murder happened that he was developed as a potential suspect, or was this something that he was developed as a potential suspect, decades later?
I'm not going to get into the specifics at this time, just because we still have, as we said, this is kind of, and I hate to use the cliche, but
91
the
people.
beginning of the end. And again, we're not saying these cases
Whenever I do these kind of cases like this and etc., it's almost as if I'm some new YouTuber who's never done anything, a show at all, and I got 91 people here. That's how bad that is. It's horrendous. I mean, who the hell knows?
closed. They're resolved right now because we know there's a lot more work to do, and that's one reason why we haven't come forward.
That's why it's
We've
just like,
had
oh,
the
man.
confirmation
Hard to
last
get up in the
summer,
morning.
but there's been a lot of work going on since then,
Jeez,
and that's
another
just
day
doing
of
our due
hell.
diligence and revisiting. So we don't want to get into too many specifics because we are still moving forward, and that's why we're asking the public to help us build that timeline, help us, let us know if you knew him, how you knew him, what encounters you had, so we can build that
Right,
timeline
so it's
and
all
find
bullshit,
out
Julie, is
if
what
in
the
fact
truth
there
is.
are other victims out there.
If there is no surveillance that a media outlet put out, then the videos that you're watching are bullshit. Okay, just letting you know.
You guys believe these are or are not connected to the police department?
At this time, there is no physical nor forensic evidence to connect the Isle of Wight or the City of Hampton homicides to the two in York County on the Colonial Parkway or the one in New Kent County. And it's forensics and advancements in technology. It really is amazing what the Department of Forensic Science has been able to accomplish. And because of resubmitting material over and over again and being persistent by the investigators dedicated to this case, that has gotten us here. And we recognize it's going to be the forensics that either connects those dots later on down the road or disconnects those dots. So there's still a lot of work to be done at this point.
Grant, is it safe to say the technology you use to resolve these cases?
Well, I mean, if she wants to find a news outlet that has it, that would be great.
Correct.
all excited
Correct.
about
and
us.
it speaks a lot to those investigators 30
Cemetery surveillance. Give me a break.
plus years ago who recognized that evidence collected at a scene, the technology wasn't there, but that they preserved it enough to enable us 36 years later to be here today.
The case.
Well, thanks, Marty.
This case has been resolved.
Yes,
91
correct. Isle of
people,
Wight,
I
yes.
don't-
And
I appreciate all 91 of you, but
September
my God, what
of
happened?
87.
Jesus.
At what point was he ever a suspect in that case? Now that he is deceased, are you able to tell us when he was he ever identified?
no, we're not going to get. Let's say we're not going to get into those specifics at this time.
Why?
So,
Why?
We've got time for one more question. I know this has been a.
You know, there's no reason she can't answer that question. You know, there's no reason at all. She just wants to be, you know, these people, they like to make, you know, feel really important a lot of times and just keep stuff because they can, not because it means anything. You know, really frustrating.
difficult and trying time
No
for
reason she can't answer that question.
the family, so we want to be respectful of their time.
Zero.
If an arrest was made in this other case, which you're going to get me the information on,
Mhm.
right? Then it would suggest that the wrong person was arrested.
I can't speak on behalf
And they waited all these years to release the video, Julie? Is that what you're saying?
of that. That's just speculation at this point. Once we get the details with you,
Because
we'll
he's the
discuss
one
it.
responsible, not the
Correct.
person who was arrested.
Correct.
Because he wasn't in the system.
Correct, yeah. Okay, all right. The press release has also been sent to all your newsrooms. That went out. And if you guys want the photographs and the maps and everything there, you can just email me and I'll send them to you. Okay? All right.
Yeah, go ahead. Just send me whatever. Just the least conspiratorial of them all. Every one of the people that's going to be covering that is one of the nutjob conspiracy theory YouTubers. Okay? That's just the truth. The ones that are making a big deal out of it. Ooh, wow. You know what it feels like? Jumping the shark. You know, like in the, you know, when Fonzie with his, you know, leather jacket, water skis and jumps over. Now you have, in the Sebastian Rogers case, people are now, you know, they go, ooh, here's what we could, oh, wow. There's surveillance footage from a cemetery that night. I mean, what a joke. Really? Like a cemetery? You know? It's crazy. Hey, we've got this amazing footage at a mortician shop. I think there's a possibility. Jesus. You know, why wasn't it that at Sally Smith's house down the street instead of a cemetery? Yeah, don't worry about it. Pod pictures. Anyways, that's it. All right. So what we're working on earlier is The Browns University shooting animation. Here it is. There's the Barrison Hawley building. And then the video starts on Manning. He's walking down Manning Street, turns on the Cook Street, goes south. Turns left on George Street. And then is filmed right there on George Street. And then he sort of disappears off camera for a while. Then about 3 minutes later, comes back. He's on George Street again. Then he picked up on surveillance right there. And then goes south on Benevolent Street, passing the historical building. And goes back around on Benevolent Street. Then north on Governor Street. And back on George Street in front of 253 George Street camera again. And that's where it ends. Because right there he's at that corner right before he notices the, John, the homeless guy. Right there. So that's next. Anyways, thanks for everybody who showed up tonight. I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, I think they're probably connected to that same guy, don't you think? They just didn't find any DNA or anything. Oh man, my viewer activity is blank. Let me see if I can reload the page. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. All right, so thanks to Timothy Cecil, then we had Saturn Dreaming of Mercury, then Saturn Dreaming of Mercury, then Chick Bait, and then Chris O'Connell gifted 5. Then we had Carol Silva, then Chick Bait became a new member and then also gifted a membership. Then we had Saturn Dreaming of Mercury, 2 in a row, and then Chris O'Connell, a super chat as well, and then Chris O'Connell gifted 5 again, and then Michelle H gifted 1, and then Cheryl Bullock, Michelle H, and Chris O'Connell gifted 5, and then Marty's Bar and Grill gifted 10, and Lisa Valenzuela, Timothy Cecil, Joe Morton, Lanky Tor showed up, then Timothy Cecil, Shelley Pink gifted 1, Cinnamon Sin Freak, and then Marty's Bar and Grill, the savior at the end, gifted 10 memberships, and then I did 5. So, yeah, so it's like both Marty and Chris O'Connell, you made up a big portion, I would say, like, I don't even know what the number would be. Yeah, pretty much, I don't know, like 80% of the whole night. Okay, I'm not going to play it on the air, but just send it to me, Julie. I'll take a look at it. Oh, and then also Lisa Valenzuela on, let's see, the coffee. Thank you. I think that's it. All right, you guys. Well, I hope you guys found it at least mildly interesting. How about you, Marty? How about you? Chris O'Connell said they liked it. I wish we could go back to covering more of those. I always think they're fun to kind of work out and find the old photographs and compare them to what we're looking at. And, those are always neat. But nobody, when I say nobody, see, whenever I say nobody, people go, I like it great. Well, let me ask you something. Let's say 8 people liked it. Would you do shows if you only had 8 people watching? I mean, the problem is I get like, whenever I do something different, like the other day, reading the Delphi, there was like 50 people. And then tonight I'm just randomly covering a cold case and I get 93. So it's like you've got to cover what people want to watch. Because when I was doing the Brown University shooting, well, now there was a lot of people here and I did good stuff. But that's the thing, is these other people, they just keep covering it despite not being anything. Like you're just sort of, that's why conspiracy theorists win, because after, like, the arrest is made, what is their, I'm going to make this animation because it's not out there yet, but, other than that, like, what do you do? But if you're a conspiracy theorist, you can come up with just a ton of different angles and theories and all that stuff, and there isn't any. This guy looked like, I think that Claudio guy was just a jealous person who he saw everybody else succeed where he went to school, and in 2 different locations, and he's really jealous of, the MIT professor, and he just killed him. That's what he did. And he was going to take his own life anyways. And so he thought, well, why not just take out some others too? Because I'm committed to do this. I'm going to get payback for their success. And then he took him out. Doesn't that make sense? It doesn't seem like there's a larger motive or anything. And I'm not even sure we talked much about that. I think we mentioned maybe it's possible a terrorist attack. Nobody knows at first, right? But the whole thing with that Mustafa guy, we never went down that road. Nobody cared. I thought he looked like the person, maybe, That's about it. And even after the fact, they sort of look mildly similar. But we never said, oh, yeah, all these people were just totally irresponsible, pretending that he was the person. We wouldn't even really want people to put the name in our chat. Yeah, I think he just had a grudge, and he just sort of noticed how well he was doing recently, and just felt like he had to, like if he wasn't successful, I think he only has a grudge because he was successful. Like if that guy wasn't doing well, he wouldn't care. All right, you guys. Well, thank you very much for being here. We'll see you guys later. Make sure to send that to me, Julie. I'm gonna take a look at it. I don't see it. Still not there. It should be pretty easy just to put a link and send it. But all right, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And who the hell knows what tomorrow will bring? Another day, just like today. All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, thug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his spectre. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've attempted to fucking check ya. Cool, man. I have no agenda. I'm no pretender. Thanks again, Chris. And I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody. Talk to you.
Thank you very much for watching Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube, where we cover true crime using logic, reason, common sense, and the facts available in the case. Thank you all very much for watching, and as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. Love you too, love you too. Last call, everybody.
Bye.